Okay, so I'm here with the guy that I choose to call Adrian. It's not his real name, but it's pretty close, and it's a stupid joke we have. We have done now a lot of sessions together. Um, I don't even know how many. Something like seven, eight. I want to say.
Yeah, yeah, I think.
Yeah, and we're trying something new. Basically, um some people have commented that they think my Metafy is very expensive, and I agree. And basically, just I'm looking to find new ways where I can make it a cheaper price, but still, yeah, make it worth my time, basically. And yeah, I thought we could do some coaching sessions where what I'm selling in the individual coaching session is very public. So yeah, I don't know if you're comfortable with me using your first name in a video, actually.
I don't care.
Okay, so yeah, all right. So Andreas basically has been nice enough to let us try this for the first time. If you people watching the video enjoy this type of content, then I will post more. Simple as that. Um, all right. Well, you have picked out a Vertigo demo, and you said when we did the introduction that your CT side was good or not, or was it the CT side that was bad and the T side was good?
T said was bad.
T
Just
side
double
was
check.
bad. Yeah, yeah. Quick sort of disclaimer for the video. Andreas is currently level 8 on Faceit in Europe, and it's a kind of low elo lobby right now, right? Also compared to your level, because it's like
Yeah, yeah.
1,350. Um, so yeah, just like yeah. Um, is there anything special you think is important that we focus on in this demo?
Not particularly. I don't think so.
Okay. Well, then it's simple. Then we just watch it and come
Yep.
up with something like we always do. Turn down the volume slightly.
Mm.
Okay, so you actually also start on the teaser in this match, I can tell.
Yeah.
And you mentioned also in the introduction that sort of the issue you have with Vertigo is that the CTs are so bad that they don't use smokes on ramp, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And I mean, you would think normally that that makes things easier, and I guess it also does, but it just becomes more of like an aim fight, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so we will see that. Um, so I know you're playing in a four stack in this game, and I just want
Yeah.
to ask, like, if you have a sort of pistol round strat. I mean, it looks very much like you have some faking on B.
You're not live here on
Oh, on Discord.
Discord. I
Perfect.
was just wondering.
Yeah. All right. Am I now? Okay,
Uh, yeah, it's loading. Yeah.
perfect. All right. Good. Good. Good that we found that out. I always forget that.
Yeah.
Um.
So yeah, we have kind of a strat. It's uh, yeah, not something special, but just one guy goes to fake B. We sneak in front of ramp. If he has some contact, some info, we go out ramp basically. So it's a dumb fake, basically.
Yeah. I don't know if it's necessarily a dumb fake, but I get what you mean.
Yeah, very simple.
Yeah. Very simple. Yeah. I think simple fakes are really good in pistol rounds on Vertigo because it is really a map where, I mean, if you just go A with one smoke, that's a lot of times enough. Like, it's it's very hard for the CTs to deal with on pistol rounds actually. So, um, I guess that's a note for you, but it's also very much a note for your teammates. Like typically, the way the pros do it, or even the high elo facet players do it, is they will have someone go, into this position and do the like smoke that lands here, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And then what they do is they go many through gap. And the reason is because the duels here are really favorable for T's. Like, if you would be jumping around corners and these kind of things, it's so hard for him to hit you. And if you guys would peek it with 3 players here, then you have a really good chance of kind of closing the distance and making the CT player really uncomfortable, right? Whereas if you go many from ramp with no smoke, I mean, you're only having the long range duels against the USPs. And this is where the USPs are stronger than the Glocks, basically. The CTs could even be all the way back here and fighting you, you know? So,
True.
one thing you could definitely do better here is just ask for someone to come with you, you know? Because if you would have someone with you, you would also be able to jump more around and, like,
And trade opportunity.
yeah, exactly. It allows for a trade opportunity. And now we can see how it goes. The teammates do actually get some good kills. But still, you lose it. And that's like that one key smoke here. That's what will allow you to go out gap without fighting like the headshot angle. Because this angle would be also tough to deal with, right? But if, like, imagine you have a smoke here and this angle is you know, nullified, it stops there. If you go in through here, it's so hard for the CTs to stop you from getting the plant. And if you get the plant, it's hard for the CTs to actually have a proper retake. Like, they will have to
a lot of
do a smoke.
space.
Yeah, exactly. And especially in POGs, people don't really buy kits as CT very much. So
Yeah, true.
doing a 10-second defuse on Vertigo A bomb site while people like T's are still alive is really uncomfortable. So for this round, there isn't really much you can do. I think this is you, right? No. Let me go back a little bit more so I can see who you are in freeze time.
Yeah.
It feels like, I mean, look at your spawn now. You are the 4th guy. Now one guy goes to the left. Another guy goes to the left, and now this guy goes to the right. So you end up overtaking everyone, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
This is not something that you are necessarily doing wrong, you know? It's kind of like weird that they don't just go. Because a lot of times in rounds where you want to play fast, it's important to have the first spawn going first because you beat the timing that is expected by the CTs, basically. And when you have like one of the worst spawns and you overtake everyone, you no longer have that surprise factor as much, basically. I think you and I, we have already talked about follow the traffic, right? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I mean, this could be an example. Like, your teammates are like, yeah, less willing to full rush, it seems like. And maybe in terms of your own individual performance and also for how the round works out, it's better that if they want to stop and take some angles, that you guys walk out mid together, like contact out mid or whatever. At least it's
contacting out with those pistols doesn't really seems like it's gonna be successful, to be honest.
No, I agree. But it could be something that you contact out with a P250 in front, who tries to get like an early duel, and then like on the contact you start rushing, if you know what I mean. Like,
yeah, okay.
Like that type of contact. But I mean, it's more just like, I think you do the right thing here. Your teammates don't, and the sort of thing I want you to take from that is, with this like follow the traffic in mind. If I see you overtake all your teammates 5 more times in this match, then it's a problem, right? But then it's also a you problem. Like, you shouldn't be playing aggro every round. As in, like, the front guy, like, playing aggro with no util support every round, that's not gonna end well. I guess this is something we can check real quick. So you could have bought AK armor, like head armor, but you decide not to. And this is actually what kills you. Yeah. Because you die to one shot from this guy.
Oh, MP9, yeah.
Yes. And because he actually doesn't hit you whatsoever, only on the last bullet he hits you, I think. And you did have the money. I was about to say, you would almost always have the money for it. But you did buy a P250 in the round before, and maybe that could have affected things, but here actually you did have the money for it, and I guess just... I normally don't worry so much about having head armor in a round like this. Like, it's so rare that is the difference maker, but in this round it actually was. And we can see that the CT's bought, I think, 4 M4s and 1 MP9, so it's also a little bit unlucky you meet the 1 MP9, you know? But even had he had a M4, it's possible that your head armor would have been what changed things for you, right?
Yeah, that's true.
So, yeah, worth thinking about. We can also keep an eye out on that. Now you do buy AK head armor and no nades, so maybe you did learn something from it. Anyway. So, like, right now what the CTs are doing is what I call, like, utility dumping, right? They have used 2 Molotovs and HEs, and there's another HE on its way and stuff like that, in the first 5 seconds of the round, probably because they don't know the ramp smoke. This is because they basically just don't have that good of an understanding of Vertigo, but the way to kind of counter that for you guys is that you should be, like, how can I say, you should be waiting more, basically. Like, playing fast like you were and playing fast like PXH was, is just the opposite of what you want to do against a team who utility dumps. You should see it as, I mean, they're using all their utility at the start of the round, so we need to play slower, basically.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. I think also, I mean, the reason why CTs use ramp smokes and gap smokes and all these things at the top level, or in general, is because it, I guess, forces kind of the Ts to wait, right? And these CTs, or like the way that pro T-sided players deal with this is they will do smokes of their own to eliminate information, and eliminating information gives you a chance to, for example, just smoke on A and go and hit B while they're still preoccupied with A, right? Or it gives the chance for you all 5 to be A and pop through the smoke on 1 flash, for example. Something like that would absolutely destroy the CTs the way they're playing it right now. Because if you would do the smoke, it's a little bit hard to see, but there's a smoking throw here at the top of the ramp. I have to, maybe because they're flashes I can do it. It's hard to see, but like right around here, if you would do that smoke, the CTs have no information, and that would allow you to get much closer and then pop, basically.
Yeah. I mean, you can show me the smoke afterwards.
What
exactly you're meaning?
Yes, I will write it down as a note real quick so I don't forget. Then I need to figure out how to... Yes. Show top ramp smoke. I call it the gambit smoke. There are a few smokes that are really good on Vertigo T side on A. Because it was what we talked about, I think, before I started the recording as well. But as it is right now, because the CTs don't use smokes and you guys don't use smokes, it becomes like straight up aim duels. And I think for your skill level, your sort of aim mechanics are quite good. Like, especially in like a 1350 elo lobby, it's better for you, you know, to have aim fights in a way. But at the same time, it adds to the sort of random factor in the game.
It's the consistency thing we talked about earlier.
Yeah. exactly. It's if you play always on 50-50 duels, that's kind of inconsistent, I would say.
Yeah.
Because you won't like consistency is a lot about putting yourself in a spot where you can consistently win a fight, for example.
Yeah.
And also, I think for me personally, the fights from CT just feel better than the fights from T. Like you as a T will a lot of the time have to be just holding, right? And the CT will be
Yeah.
peeking you. And as a T, there are only a few places you can kind of stand that makes sense. Like you can stand here next to the box, you can stand here where you are right now, you can stand in front of the box, and you can stand like in the middle of everything. And I guess in the corner all the way, like where it says 50 on the wall, right?
Yeah.
But most of those positions have like no cover. And as a CT, you can go, for example, sandbags and swing from that and go back, or you can peek up from crane or from the back, or you can peek from gap, or you can be out of gap behind the yellow thing and stuff like that. There are like a million angles you can play, where you have more cover. And like now, for example, you have no idea where to put your crosshair. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
There's so many. Yeah. So many spots where he can pick me from.
yeah, and for the
And
CT,
swing gap and on the backside and sandbags everywhere.
yeah, and for the CTs as well, if you're fighting here alone, which you are right now, and in this case they are 3 and 5, so it's unlikely, but if there were more people alive, it's also possible you get peeked from the left and from the right at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the CTs, all they kind of need to do is just have their crosshair placement somewhere in the middle of ramp, and then they can react to everything, because it's just like the cone of awareness that I've talked about also on my second channel. You know, I think have you seen that video as well? Otherwise, I'll explain it
Yeah,
really
you
briefly.
explained it to me before, but yeah, you can basically see the like square from ramp. This is basically what they have to focus on, so
Yeah,
it's not that big.
no, exactly. Like for the CT, the cone is looking like that, right? But for you, the
Yeah.
cone is looking basically like this and like this. It's
Yeah.
it's it's a bit wider, like as you can see, your cone is wider. So, but not only that, the CTs also basically don't have to worry about verticality, right? Like everyone they are peaking will be on the same plane. But you have to worry about if they're peeking down sandbags or back at the top or crane or out of gap, and it's like so many angles. So that's why it feels kind of CT advantage, and playing just raw aim fights is really tough. So yeah, I think that could be part of why the T side was rough.
Yes.
Good Molo.
Oh yeah, he didn't plant and he didn't notice.
Oh what?
Yeah. The plant almost went through and then he probably let go of the key.
Yeah.
Really unlucky.
Yeah, so this is like the level 3 that you're queuing with. That's probably why it happened. I will write one more note, show the B smoke. I will skip your teammate's clutch here. But yeah, that was... If you would have had the bomb lane here, you probably win this round, so that's pretty upsetting. Okay, I have as well... I have almost a rule, or at least I've realized recently that I basically have a rule. You don't ever buy a deagle in Vertigo.
Okay.
Like, you can do so much with a Tech 9, and you can do so little with a deagle. Like, we just talked about how tough these duels are, even when you have rifle, right? And
Yes.
being able to, like, kill with a deagle here is really hard. Like, on B, walking up the stairs, playing some headshot angle, and peeking with deagle, that's maybe possible, right? It can sometimes happen. But there you still run kind of the issue that if the CT chooses to spam through the wooden wall, you can't really shoot back. So if you get contact and you try to step back, you can still get spammed through the wood and you will still die. Like you can't counter that. So it's not the greatest, but you can play a deagle there. And also a lot of CTs, at least the good players, will have someone flashing and checking. Flash goes more like this, I guess. But that is also something, if you're standing here with a deagle trying to take fights and a flash comes through and someone jumps up on wood, you're dead, you know? And having a deagle walking out mid is also just not good duels. Like, this is not... I don't know, you're not gonna... Maybe you can sometimes kill this guy, but it's just really difficult. But if you have 5 Tech 9s, for example, and you do like a B rush, or you boost someone up on wood who goes danger, and you do one flash and he pops in and stuff like that, that's pretty winnable. If you have 5 Tech 9s rushing up on A, that is kind of winnable. If you have 5 Tech 9s rushing mid, or maybe delayed rushing mid, that is pretty winnable. So like, I have a problem with people buying deagles in second rounds, or like on force buy rounds, because because it's just a deagle. Like, we will just see it now. Basically, you're just gonna get owned. I'm guessing, or you're gonna hit a crazy shot. Like here we see again they're double peeking. That guy even had a shotgun.
Oh yeah, I know.
Bro. But like here also, for example, in this duel, right? Like now he runs you down, looks a little bit funny, but if you would have had a Tech 9, I think you would be maybe trying to fight this guy instead of like running away from him, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
And that's just why like a Tech 9, like a deagle is good on maps where you have many long angles, right? Like that makes sense. Yeah.
What you're saying is basically that the long range angles on Vertigo are a lot for like not good for the T's basically.
I think the angles on B, for example, are fine. The problem is just you need an AK for it. Because one way that I would like to play against force buy, if I was B player, for example, something I love doing, if you stay on top of double, you have such a big off angle, so the deagle will never one-shot you, basically, right? Like, he's not aiming on top of double. And if I get contact here, what they always do is they take one shot, which is like a surprise shot, and then he tries to fall back. But now I can just spam him through the wood, and then I get the kill anyway. And the player basically has no counterplay if it's just one deagle peeking, you know? The same if they do this boost, whatever. I still have like an elevated angle. And it's just not a win condition to go B with a deagle. And I feel like that's the best place to have a deagle on this map as T, you know? Because it's the same on A. Like, with an AK, these are fights you can take. It's not that bad. I would say it's pretty 50-50. But imagine they would smoke you, for example, right? Which most people do. What are you doing with the deagle behind that smoke? And if they know you have deagles, they will just spam you through the smoke. Like, that means you just can't stand behind the smoke at all, in my opinion. And going mid with a deagle is also shit. But it's a map where, for example, when we look at mid here, if someone would swing this corner now with a Tech 9, this is a like mid-range duel, and a Tech 9 is really good. If we have 5 here running with Tech 9, we kill this guy. Mid has many like short angles, you know? That's also why the CTs are so afraid of you going there. But B can also have a lot of small angles, because if you can get like either boosted up into danger, or if you can run up and close the distance with like one flash up here, this guy gets blind, and now you get to here. This is also a pretty mid-range fight, right?
Yeah.
Where with Tech 9 is very doable. But yeah, I don't know. It's just my opinion at least. Like, there are some maps where T-side deagles are good, and you can win around like that. Mirage is an example. There are many long-range fights. You can go up A, for example, and just hit that one deag. You open the whole side, you can rush up. But Vertigo is also a pretty compact map on CT where, let's say you kill someone. It's not like you can run up, take his weapon, and take the space. Like, his teammate will always be here. If you go up on B, well, they still have probably someone playing around here who can smoke and maybe do a Molotov wide, so you're blocked, right? So it's not really something where you can just get one kill and immediately rush up and take like so much space or get a weapon or something like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just a lot of talk about that one thing, but I've noticed, as you know, I'm coaching a team, and they also were buying 5 deagles, for example. But 5 deagles is just not really a win condition on Vertigo. You have to get so lucky. I think it's something like 1 out of 50 rounds I won with deagles on Vertigo, in my opinion. But if you have Tech 9s, maybe it's 5 out of 50, you know?
Yeah.
Especially if you have Tech 9s and a good plan, then I would say it's maybe 10 out of 50, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah. That's something I feel very strongly about. One thing I would also love to see you doing, it's not necessarily an always thing on Vertigo, but especially against these players, this Riplex guy is playing sandbags all the time, right? He's jumping info and stuff like that. He's using his util early to block. And I don't know if we two have talked about it before, but basically CTs who play in a predictable way are the easiest to counter. Because if they always do the same, then you can think of a way to counter that one thing they do, and you know it won't go wrong, basically. So, if you would be really, what's that word? Like, if you would be noticing that he plays here all the time, you could tell this to your teammates, and you could like double or triple nade this at 140, and this is a free entry on A.
Yeah, true that.
And if we then talk basically face a cheat code and stuff that I also do, that is all about if you're trying to climb elo, you want to do something that takes your opponents out of their comfort zone. So if you double or triple nade this guy one time, now he's fucking afraid of playing here, and then this is probably the only way he's comfortable playing, because he is 1350 elo and maybe not as adaptable as a pro.
Yeah.
So if you make him scared of playing the only spot he knows how to play, he will just play much worse, and you guys will have a much easier time going A, basically.
Yeah, true.
Like you see him actually this is basically the only way he knows how to play, is just doing this jump spot to play info the whole round, because you guys are not doing any smokes that take away information. He can play A and have A alone the whole round, every round, and have early information, right?
Yeah.
But then also he just jumps here, for example, and as soon as he sees you, maybe you don't even see him, but then he just wide swings and takes the fight every time. This is like what he's been doing the whole game, basically. And if you would find a way to if you would recognize, okay, this guy is playing the same way every round, then you can think, okay, what can I do to fuck him up? And then, you basically just look for this this counter. Okay, that's also one way to do it. You could also, molo behind the sandbag so that he can't play there and then just walk up, for example.
Yeah,
then he will almost undoubtedly peak crane. I will real quick write another note. Show different A executes. I'll at least show you like one kind of A execute that I think you will wanna know, because I know you're good with grenades.
Okay. Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah, it's like a deep execute. It would be really good in this round. Okay, now you have your main weapon of choice. You see again, he actually just does this Molotov every round. Plays the exact same way every round. You can, by the way, like when he's like jumping across here, if you like, maybe you can't. Ooh, okay, you could kill him there because he actually messed up his movement. But if he doesn't mess up his movement, when he jumps, you can even hit him like through the edge of the wall, if you know what I mean.
Oh, okay.
And it doesn't kill him outright, but it deals something like 80 damage, and he will stop jumping after that. I can tell you. Like,
Yeah. It's not risking it.
no, exactly. I would say even the pro meta on this kind of info jumping is like, if he jumps and sees you there with AWP, he will stop jumping, you know? But this guy kept doing it, and then he also fucked up his movement, so. But yeah, good kill. Maybe this is the counter, where we will now see him play different. And, like, yeah, that's at least something I'm interested. Actually, look at this. Immediately, you kill him one time, doing this, immediately he's out of his comfort zone. Or like, he has to come up with something else. And now you can see he's not jumping, so you should also kind of know, okay, he's doing something different. We should be able to walk up, for example. Now they even leave the boost. Now, no one is playing A. You have all the space on A, just from killing him that one time, you know?
Yeah.
Now they did some really weird smoke, though. But it's still, like, your teammate here can basically just waltz into gap.
He gets fucked by the shotgun, I think.
Yeah, okay. Oh yeah. This is also something, I mean, it's hard to recognize in the round, but it would be something where if you would be higher elo or playing with higher elo, like you could tell your teammates like, guys, come back to A, they're giving us the space, you know, and then you can, like, your teammate wouldn't have to walk alone, because if you, like, it's only because he's alone that he dies here, or like at least doesn't get traded, I think.
That's true.
Yeah, here you just miss the shot, I guess. I want to see, though. I'm really interested in this guy now. Yeah, I mean...
My mate kills him, yeah.
Yeah. But he played it, again, not behind the sandbag. It was not that different this time.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's just interesting, right? Like, all it took was for you to kind of destroy him on it one time. And then that was it. I think part of why you also feel your T-side is not so good is just because you don't seem so maybe sharp. Was it the first game of the day?
No.
Okay.
I think it was like 5th or 6th game of the day.
Without a break?
No, with a break.
Okay, good. I was about to say, because that could also explain it. But yeah, just... It's not that you are, like, not hitting anything or something, but with your AWP, you have had some opportunities to get more kills than you have.
Yeah, definitely.
Or here again, this guy, Riplix, he's not even on A now. I think. So like he literally had that one play. Like he just only knows how to jump the sandbag and play around there. And that's it. But yeah, it's always interesting, those kind of things. With how you got him out of his comfort zone with just killing him one time, basically.
Yeah, I mean, if I recognized it earlier or did it earlier, maybe the the T side would have been easier then.
Yeah, might have been. Nice shot. Yeah, I mean, about a round like this, there's not so much to say. There's just, you didn't win the duel. But I do feel like you're looking a little bit less sharp. But maybe it's just, you have had some time away from the game as well, right? Like, like we talked about. And maybe you just need to get the hours up again. If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I like a lot that your teammate fell back to take different fights. I think I mean, you said you were just watching my Vertigo video, or have been.
Yeah, right before the session though, and not complete because
Yeah,
you were ready then.
that's fair. But something that I think is really important on Vertigo A side is that there is like some kind of synergy between like the gap player and the ramp player. So
Yeah.
if he plays like aggressive out here, you should be playing aggressive out here as well. Or you should be playing two people aggressive somewhere together, right? So like now, I think you do a good job of blocking with this Molo. Now he falls a little bit back, which is good. But he's still fighting here. You could go here and be ready to trade, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, this is kind of good though. That now he fights more aggressively and you are also out with him. That's a nice round by him.
Good.
So why are you mid in this round?
I think there was a call like that I go early mid and block, and they did the ramp smoke themselves on A.
Okay. And is it because you want to start 2B for some reason? Like some specific reason? Do they want to make
Yeah,
a
I
play
think
or?
there was like B push expected.
Okay, yeah. That makes sense. Yeah, and they're also taking B lobby, I guess.
Yeah.
So that makes sense. Nice. I always have it that this is also one of the things I say. I kind of touch on it in a Face cheat code, but at least the worst thing that can happen in a lot of rounds is if your mid player dies early, because
Mm-hmm.
it's possible for the Ts to kind of lock the rotation of the CTs, and typically they know B is weak. So in this round where one of your teammates have died B, if you take the straight up fight here, like the 50-50 fight, and you die, now they know your teammate is playing alone B, and this guy can go and lock the rotation type thing.
Yeah,
So
true.
I think it can sometimes be better as the mid player. Now you have like an arm here, but like jiggling in and out from the corner in a way where you kind of understand with yourself, if they take mid, I will let them have mid. Then we are at least two alive each side. Then your B player can maybe come back, you can retake mid, or maybe your A player can come back, you can retake mid together. That way, you're not giving the T a chance to make this like a 4v3 for the Ts, where they also can lock the mid rotation and they know the position of basically all players. Like, they probably don't think that deeply about it because they aren't super high elo, but if they kill one B player, they know. I think he traded, right, so they know there is one more guy there, and at least a good player will, if he gets the kill on the mid player here, know that this guy is playing alone and that there's two guys on A. So they know the full picture. So it's really good you win this duel, but I think you should consider for the future that maybe this duel isn't worth it. Like what you stand to gain and what you stand to lose.
Mm-hmm.
Like you stand to lose a lot more than you stand to gain by this kill, because now they're still 3v2 on A and they can still win the round on A, the T's. But if you would die here in mid, I think you would absolutely lose the round. This is pretty smart. Nice. This is a good round by you.
Nice.
And now I guess it's the same, right?
Yeah.
Um,
Funny, the game we played before in Vertigo, we actually had a round where PXH was like, I smoke ramp, you go boost your teammate fast and middle, and exactly that round was a mid push. Like, and just because we had that timing, because I didn't do the smoke, we completely fucked them up on middle.
Oh shit, that's amazing. Yeah, you love when you have those reads that are like almost superhuman,
Yeah,
right? It's
yeah,
crazy. Yeah. Um. Yeah. Andres, I have something I want to say. I
yeah.
recently found out because I'm coaching this team and none of them knew it, that if you go into your game settings and you go to spectator slash scoreboard, you can press survivors always on. You can put it to yes. Okay? I don't know if
Okay.
you have this, but it's so that when I open the scoreboard, I can always see whoever died. Do you have
Okay.
this?
Huh? What? What?
Like the people that I'm coaching, right? Like
Yeah.
they have it that they have to open a scoreboard, then this middle part is not here, then they have to click something, and then have to click something else to get it up where you can see who died.
Uh.
But for me, it's always
Okay.
instantly on. You see?
Mhm.
So whenever I check
Ah. Yeah.
the scoreboard, I get like a good feel for how many people survived and what
Oh
the
yeah.
money is looking like. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. That's good to know. Yeah. I don't have this on.
No. So I think a lot of people don't have this on. It is a new setting in CS2, but absolutely you have to put this on um, because it's easier to make the mental math of what buy they have, right?
Mhm.
And I think you should realize that, like, so you win the pistol, right? And then they I think bought a little bit in this round. Like it was not full Glocks, but it was also not like Mac 10 armor, for example, right? And now
Okay.
last round they bought, and now it's some kind of weird mixed buy, like small pistols, not many nades, and then for some reason one guy I guess didn't buy last round, right?
Yeah.
Which is probably
Elo.
down to the
Okay.
elo. Yeah, but I think in a round like this, where if you would have a understanding of the money situation on the other team, and you have the front spawn, I mean, something that was so good for us when I played in ambush was like with the front spawn, you can just say don't do any ramp smoke or like do delayed ramp smoke. Then we would run like this, and then we would go down here and we would just full swing early.
Okay.
And then let's say you call a ramp smoke around here, it means you get to peek this and take the fights, and then like 1 or 2 seconds later the ramp smoke pops. So either you like get a fight and then the ramp smoke comes, or you get the full info and then the ramp smoke comes. You know what I mean?
Mhm. Yeah. I know what
Um,
you mean.
and we did this even against full buys, actually. If we were just feeling it, we just wanted to fight. Then we had like
Mhm.
the second spawn come, like the second A player spawn come with us and run in the same line and also just peek here. Because what a lot of Ts will do when they're down ramp is they will try to exactly throw an HE or throw a Molotov, and they are like kind of unfocused at the beginning because so long as they're standing, down here in the middle, they can't be peeked from crane and gap. Like I don't know, he can peek, but he probably won't just straight up peek.
Yeah.
How can I
So they
say?
don't expect the early ramp fight.
Yes. So we
Like
just basically
straight up.
came here and swung this with 2. And when you play against low money, that can actually also be a pretty good way to deal with it, because if they don't have money, like you will see it maybe. If we can catch someone playing aggro, no, we can't. But like we could be out now. Like you could even bounce one flash and double swing, or have one going green and one down, and you would absolutely destroy these 2 guys who are running up, for example. Um, and I think I guess what I'm trying to teach with this is just that if you have a front spawn and you want to peek on A, you can do that ramp fight. Um, Sometimes it's bad as an AWP to let your good spawns go to waste, because you could have easily asked for someone else to go and do the molo mid, and you had the front
Yeah.
spawn, so maybe you could use it for something.
Yeah. True.
Um, like, and then obviously what we would do is if we wanted to come here and swing, right, but we heard like a lot of people running here, so like an A rush, then we would just fall back, right?
Mhm.
But if we didn't hear anyone, it would mean that we would be fighting like 1 or 2 max, and if we swing with 2 from the same side, it's really unlikely that they will win that duel. I think you put yourself also there in a little bit of a rough space, like standing on the side and fighting kind of both.
Yeah.
Maybe you should have like picked one fight and committed to it. Because either fight would be one that your teammate would be able to help you with. Now again, there's so many smokes, but imagine you would like kind of go a little bit closer towards the gap side. Then the ramp guy can't kill you, but you, like your teammate in headshot, can still help you fight gap, basically.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's actually a nice shot by that guy. I'll write one more note. So, anti-force or bang. Nice shot. I think there's definitely stuff you can do better in this round.
Okay.
So, first of all, when you do the Molotov, like, how can I say? If you Molotov here, this tells the T's that they can take this first space for free. Like, until here, basically. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, technically, you could be Molotoving here and sitting with an orb behind it. But because you bounced it from Guardian, and I mean, if they're smart, they will hear also that it came from this area because you could hear it bounce on this. And then they can kind of know that they can take this first area for free. So that's one thing. If you just maybe didn't Molotov, maybe they would walk right into your AWP at this moment. You know?
Yeah, okay, you mean like I could have basically left it open for the kills, basically inviting them. That concept.
Yes, you could do that, or it's how can I say it? You've played Dust 2. Everyone has played Dust 2, right?
Yeah.
And what was very normal was that the B player on Dust 2 would use his smoke kind of early on the tunnels of B, right?
Mm-hmm.
But at some point, people, figured out, okay, if the B player has an AWP, or if our AWP player is playing B, we don't need to smoke tunnels. I'm talking about, like, this is probably, let's say, 8 years ago, that people found out, hey, we can actually play with an AWP on B, and we don't need to use a smoke at all. By doing that, we can, keep our smoke for later, and if someone peeks, then we can kill them. So T's adapted to that by, let's say, okay, they didn't smoke tunnels. It is probably an AWP playing in this area. So if there's no smoke tunnels, we are actually almost more afraid of B than if there is a smoke tunnels. Does that make sense? Like,
yeah.
By not smoking tunnels, you told the T's in between the lines, like, we have an orb waiting here. So sometimes, if the T's knew you could potentially have a double orb setup, or your AWP player could potentially be towards B, well, it could make sense sometimes to on purpose not smoke tunnels for a while, because then the T's would either A, be afraid of going B, or they would do an execute, which would be like countering playing against an AWP on B. So like they would maybe do the smoke at the end of the tunnel and then do many flashes and pop out, for example. Mm-hmm. But if you then didn't smoke tunnels and you also were not playing with an AWP there, they would be doing an execute that would be countering the wrong thing, in a way. It's kind of basically the best way I can explain it. And the thing is, you've been doing this mid Molotov a lot, right?
Yeah.
So if you don't do this mid Molotov, the T's might, as you said, they might be invited into trying to walk this because they're thinking they didn't do the Molo. They're not starting mid, you know?
Yeah.
But if you then have an AWP and you sit here and hold this angle where you can get a free kill because they are not expecting you, they are maybe expecting or there's space to be had in mid. And that's where if we take it to the level further, sort of, these guys are again not that high elo. But if it was good players, maybe they would exactly think, okay, there is no Molotov here, so he's probably sitting with an AWP here. So now we don't want to walk out mid. They're actually more afraid of mid because you didn't Molotov it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
But by you standing here and doing this Molotov, now they know, okay, he's not with an AWP here, so we can go take this first space for free. And now he's probably not even at all playing an AWP here because an AWP probably wouldn't do this Molo. He would instead hold this angle. If that makes sense. It's like a little bit convoluted, but this is like actually how top players think. Like they think in those like deep levels, you know, like they would be thinking, there's no Molo, he might be having an AWP here, but when you do this Molotov, then they think, okay, it's almost definitely a rifle player playing here because why would an AWP be playing Guardian and bouncing this Molo and it landing here and stuff? And now I'm teaching you things that are like not really relevant to the level you're playing at currently. I'm just trying to tell you why this Molotov is actually doing almost more harm than it's doing good to yourself because you are, if you play against good players, they will take this first area for free because of this Molotov. It's like telling them, I'm not playing default, and also I want to block you later than normal. And again, if they then have a brain, maybe they realize, okay, it's because you came here late. And then, whatever, they can take this first area. So anyway, it's just, I think you should save your Molotov here, and you got the long explanation for why.
Yeah.
This I don't think is good at all, what you're doing. With like, doing up and down. Because, I mean, they can boost, but you should not be playing, in my opinion, the AWP in an area where you can get peeked from two angles like this. Like, if they are in a headshot boost here, you will never hit this shot. In my opinion. And it's not about you, it's about if your name is Monacy or if your name is whatever, you know. Yeah, you will not hit this shot. Then now your B player dies, and I think your teammate here is unexpected. I want to check your util, but something that would be really good now is if your teammate dies, if you just flash in front of white, this teammate you have in white could now like swing either side and peek with the flash, and he would destroy this AWP running up.
Yeah.
Right. So if you are the mid player, a big part of your job is actually being like supportive util towards B. Also, I feel in this round you are not doing a good job at taking like the common angles. Like here, for example, this angle, like close to the E box and holding this, would allow you to hold your teammate's cross. But because you are actually swinging out further than this, now you miss him, you know? Like he goes across. And the same with this guy, like, I mean, you again now move out to a different angle. I think it's okay, but again, you kind of like miss him now. You know what I mean?
I hit him through the wall.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And now here as well, like, look at this angle you're standing on. You have so far to get to cover. Like, if you miss this shot, you have to actually run a few steps before you're behind cover. But if you instead would be holding like a... Now we can't see the AC, but imagine that like I'm exactly on the corner of the AC. Then you can miss your shot and get back behind cover really fast.
Yeah, true.
And you do fix this kind of, like, you can see you go closer and like you check B, and now you hold this angle instead. You see now it's a better angle because if you miss, you can get behind cover really fast.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if you want to go really into detail, it's better as well if you're up on this platform than if you're down here. Because if you're down here and you want to go behind cover, you have to expose yourself to B. But if you're up here and you want to go behind cover, you could actually move this way, you know? Like, so you are hidden from B and from mid. Because the AC is here, but you just can't see it because of the flash.
Yeah. Yeah.
So again, this is becoming a little bit deep. But this is good. And now, because you don't know how many were in mid, when your teammate smokes B, you should expect that he is able to block this area.
Yeah.
And you should hold the thing that is actually dangerous. Like, you don't understand in this situation what is actually dangerous. Like, your teammate has just smoked this, and he's holding it for you. You can focus this angle you had in mid. Because, I mean, just maybe you would have been the one getting this kill instead. But it seems like you're so focused on being worried about B when you could do this for free, and if your teammate gets contact, you could just go and kill, you know?
Yeah.
If that makes sense. So there was a lot in this round. And now we actually see it. You don't do a mid Molotov, and you hold mid. And you actually saw it, kind of. This guy was actually afraid to go mid. Even though that this was one of the rounds where you didn't Molotov at all. And it's probably because he kind of recognized that you had an AWP here. And now that you smoke it, I want to see what he does. I mean, you see?
Yeah.
He's actually... Yeah.
But he thinks I'm playing the smoke.
Yeah, it seems like. And he is afraid that you're going to push him with rifle. But what is the idea of the smoke here?
That I can fall back and help B or A in case something happens. Basically holding and then blocking to go back.
But if you would like walk back here, for example, like, or let me actually just see how the round evolves. Like, you have pretty deep info on A, right? So at this moment you don't need to help on A, and you have two people playing B, so you also don't need to help B right now. So you are actually pretty free to stay in mid if you want to.
Yeah, okay, that's fair.
And what you should imagine is, and I said this in the Face It cheat code Vertigo as well. You haven't watched it yet, or at least not finished it.
Not
Basically,
finished, yeah.
What the first thing I said was, you need to like update A info early as CT, so that if they didn't smoke, you know they're not A. And your team is actually doing a great job of exactly this. Like, they do update A info early. And if they're not A, then they have to be either B or they have to be mid. So by you being here in mid, you are actually blocking mid early, which was the second topic in my video, right?
Yeah.
And B is also heavily stacked, because you still, with the... Also what I said in the video, with the early A, like early info on A, what you gain from it is that instead of playing like 3-1-1, which is like 3 towards A, 1 mid, 1 B, you are already in this setup 2-1-2. Like, you have 2A, 1 mid, 2 B. This is the setup you kind of want to end in on Vertigo, but you can't end in it before you have early A info, basically. So you would have had a lot of freedom, and in fact it would be so good if you would stay here in mid, because probably they would either take a timing in mid, or the T's would go B, and then maybe you would still hold this angle or whatever, and the guy would try to come close. But doing the smoke here and running away, a good player will like take a timing now, in my opinion. Like, if you stand there with AWP and you haven't made any noise, I think you actually get a kill against a good player, you know. But smoking it like this, because I think we will even see there is a gap here on the side. Like, this guy could walk around the smoke and take the gap.
Yeah, true.
And I know you're holding it now, but it's just more like the smoke actually. It's like the Molotov earlier. The smoke is actually doing more negative for you than good, because if you don't smoke and you just walk away, the guy has no idea where you are. But if you smoke and you run away, the guy knows exactly where you are, and if he understands there's a gap in the smoke, he will take a timing. And also now when a B hit comes in, now the guy is able to be here. If you would be holding this until the B hit comes in, then he will only be able to be here, and then you could run, and then, maybe you would even get a kill on him. Now someone else did it, that's also fine, but this is good, this is good. Nice. Really nice that you understood there was a gap in that. Just the rest was really nice by you here.
Good.
Yeah.
I think it's good to understand how it works with middle.
Yeah.
Good that you cleared that up.
Look, now someone actually next round took the timing. That's kind of unfortunate, but you do it good. And you are ready for next.
The second guy is afraid.
Yep. We talked about it before as well, but I don't like that you're jiggling so much when you're standing and holding angles with orb. And I also don't like that you unzoom so much. Like, just stand still. This jiggling won't help you, It will only throw your aim off, or you will maybe be peaked in a timing where you're moving, and you will have to stop first and then shoot. Stand still here, it's much better. Like, it's as if you're really afraid that someone will come and insta-kill you and stuff. Like, you do it on all angles, I notice, and it's
Yeah, I think it's just a bad habit.
Yeah, but you should get rid of it, because it's, as you say, a bad habit.
Yeah.
I think if you watch demos, there are probably a few top orbers that will jiggle angles from time to time, but most of them, when they hold an angle and they expect someone to come there, they will stand still. That's a good nade. And that is a good peek. It's as if now that you got a few kills and a few rounds in a row, you're playing like super aggressive and like active, Which is good. You can see the effect it has. But it felt almost, or it feels almost like when I'm watching it, that you needed those kills to get the confidence to play in this way.
Yeah, it do be like that sometimes.
Yeah. And I know it do be like that as well. But this is also something you should work on, right? Like, you should try to find a way to play consistent. We talked about consistency, you and I. And consistent Counter-Strike is playing the same way no matter your score, basically. We've talked so much, I've probably mentioned a lot of my normal things, but there's this picture, I have it saved on my phone as well. Actually, I have it in a note. I'll give you the proper quote here. I would rather go 0, it's like basketball, right? I would rather go 0 for 30 than 0 for 9, because if you go 0 for 9, that means you stopped shooting. That means you lost your confidence, right? And you should still be smart about it. It's not like you should just run out and try to take any fight all the time. But having this mindset that, like, you would rather have a score of 0 and 10 than a score of 0 and 5 after 10 rounds, because 0 and 5 means you've been too pussy to take any duel. Like, you've died sometimes, but you've saved 5 times where it maybe wasn't even smart, you just did it because you were afraid. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
And I think that's like, I don't want to say like a really big thing for you, but it's something that I think you will learn a lot from hearing, hopefully, because, you should try to play the same all the time. I can see you're playing way better now that you had a few kills in a row. Like, look at this. You didn't do any of this in the first half. Like, you could have even killed that guy.
Yeah.
Is You're looking like a completely different player. And here again, don't Molotov and run away. Because now he knows he can go out after. You know what I mean? He now knows when the Molotov fades, he can walk out, and he is actually.
Yeah. What I'm just
I think
thinking about, but you say, yeah, don't run away, but I actually thinking about it now, I could fake run away, basically. Make the steps and sneak back.
You could. But then you're still telling him where you are. Like, for example, if you Molotov here, right? And you fake run away, and now you come back to the angle. Well, you cannot be here. Like, there could be someone, but you can't be there. And a lot of the time, especially on Vertigo, this is also something I've been teaching my team and coaching a lot, you almost never want to give away free info if you can avoid it, because you running away, you're right, you could actually have a mid setup with someone playing close, and you could be walking back and stuff like that, and it could work. But they could also be 3 here, and then they would maybe still destroy this mid setup. Or they have to worry about fewer things. Or they know they will absolutely get a duel here. Like, maybe they go and are really focused on this duel because they heard you run away, and they know you have to be behind that line. You know what I mean? Like, you can never fake run away and come back and make it past this line before they peek this angle. And yeah, for them, it's like, now for example, now you step Guardian. Maybe this guy will take timing. Like, if it's a good player, he would have probably taken a timing now. And it's just, you're making too much noise telling where you are. Holy shit, he's actually throwing flashes for B from mid. Pretty crazy. Nice skill though. Does he win it?
No.
Oh. For some reason I thought... Holy! What the hell happened here? This was actually that... Wait, now it went all the way back.
Push ramp eco.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I just skipped the last round, kinda. And I can't go back now because it's a demo. Well, anyway, what I wanted to just show it again, because I was thinking this was actually a little bit what I was talking about with like swinging the ramp like early, like I said earlier. This was just with pistols, right?
Yeah, but it worked. I mean,
it did.
They didn't expect us to swing with 5 pistols ramp.
No, absolutely not. Yes. Was there something that stood out to you in this demo that we didn't talk about yet? Or anything you didn't ask yet, or something like this? Because if there is, then let's talk about it now. And if there isn't, then I will go through the notes that I have.
Let's go through the notes first. Maybe I remember something.
That's good. So there are 2 ramp smokes you can throw right now. At least 2 like meta ramp smokes. I mean, there are maybe a few more, but these are the ones that I was looking for you to do. When I go over the bridge, I just come here, and when I can see the diagonal shadow here, I aim like around here, like just slightly above the middle. It doesn't need to be perfect, but you can do it very fast. You can just come here. It's like on feeling. This smoke goes top of the ramp, and it becomes tall enough that these people can't see anything. These people can't see anything, and if they're here, they also can't see anything, you know? So, Crane can sometimes look over it, depending on how it lands. Let me see. I guess maybe I need to do it a little bit lower, so it gets taller. This was still not perfect, but again, just if you do this, sometimes Crane basically also can peek. I think the last one I threw here was probably pretty
Good.
decent. Let's check, because right now there are 2 smokes. Let me see when the smoke fades. Yeah, like Crane can see this kind of thing, you know. It's not
Not a lot.
a lot, and you can see him as well, right? So it's like it's not that nice for him to play there anyway. So this is what I call the gambit smoke, or well, pro teams call it the gambit smoke. Lands top of the ramp, and it's just to deny information. So this is a good smoke to throw, and then if you guys want to do a B execute or B pop, you can walk immediately back and go B, for example. The other one that is very meta in CS2 is just throwing it in this corner, because it becomes very tall, so Crane can't peek. Like, you eliminate the entire left side, but it leaves a gap on the right. But then you can sneak through it, or you can get a flash, and it's one you can like work around. So like for the CTs, it's pretty nasty to play against this. So either of these smokes would have like done you so much good, like just something like this.
The sandbags guy who just jump spotted all the time.
Yes. Imagine you do this smoke, and then you follow it up with 2 grenades, which are maybe not exactly behind the sandbags, but a little bit more in the middle, and then you like work up here. Like, you would destroy this guy. So, but yeah, either of these smokes would just make it so this guy can no longer jump info. It allows you to go towards gap if you want to. Stuff like this. So yeah, I will give you a freebie here as well. If you do this smoke, or the other smoke, whatever, you can do a flash like this from here. Run as far as you can. And this flash goes up, and it jumps in a... Let me smoke delete here and do this. It jumps up really high.
Oh, damn.
And it goes really high. So even if they're like all the way at the back here, because of the way it jumps, like it takes kind of all angles. I think it takes this angle as well. Well, it doesn't take all angles, but it's good to like walk close and smoke, do this one flash and pop through it, for example, right? Show DB smoke. I've shown this in the face cheat code in CSGO that I made. I actually think that one's worth a watch as well. Like, both of the videos are really good. In fact, I might even say the CSGO one is better than the CS2 one, because I'm covering kind of different things, and the CSGO one is maybe more face cheat code, where the other one is more just Vertigo talk. But
then I'm gonna rewatch the CSGO one as well.
I would recommend that. But anyway, if you see these 4 squares and you are on the back wall and you line it up like this, and you do this like left square now, and do jump throw, this is a smoke that goes over and lands as a deep smoke. So now they can't play AC, and if they want to go to the sides, they have to go through the smoke, basically. You see? And from the same position, this one is a little bit hard, so I don't really do it much anymore, but I think if you aim here, you can actually do a Molotov that burns a lot. You see?
Yeah, I see.
I don't even... Normally it doesn't land like that, but it did now. But this was still good. Because this is what can happen sometimes. If you go just slightly too much to the left. So there's like this corner, and there's also this corner. And I think this corner, it will sometimes fall down, and then it won't burn up. That's the thing. So it's like... I don't use this Molotov that... Yeah, it's like maybe it needs to be some kind of in-between. I know you can land it like here, if you aim a little bit different. Maybe you need to aim here on the text. That would probably be the lineup I would do, actually. That's pretty easy. But so you can do a combo here where you do deep smoke and then aim the Molo on the text. And then you have like... well, the idea at least was having a Molotov that burns up on Guardian, so they can't peek, because that's the angle is hard.
What you mean. Maybe I have to look for a different lineup.
Yes, what I do if I want this combo is I do this smoke, and then I go over here, and then you see this, and here. I think this is it.
It comes from mid-side, yeah.
Yeah, it's not that much different. Yes, and actually, just again, I think you can aim. Is it here? Yeah, that one can be a little bit inconsistent. So anyway, this is a deep smoke. And this is a deep smoke. Go here, aim here. There's like a square here. This kind of gives you a little bit the same effect. it could maybe land a little bit closer. I will probably see. I think I need to update these lineups because in CS:GO, this was how they worked. If you stand like here, so this one is kind of on the right side of this, and this wall is like kind of on the left side. You aim in the middle of the square. There's also a resmoke for B, deep. This one again could probably be a little bit closer to the AC. And here as well, if you go up from like up to here, you see this is where this whatever you can slow walk, I think, and this one also goes deep. That way you can actually control this area. Yeah, basically. And this is just a way of taking B deep, but also of making the CT retake harder. Okay?
Yeah.
So that is good to know. Show different A executes. It's basically just, I mean, everyone knows this smoke, right? Or at least most people do. And the way you did it in CS:GO was like doing whatever, I don't even remember, but this will probably work. Okay, this
I did
fucked up a little bit.
game.
Yeah. I don't know the lineup exactly, but there is some lineup. I don't think it's like this, right? I feel like it's even... maybe it's up here. I don't know. There's some lineup where the idea is that the smoke goes really high in the sky and it... Oh yeah, like that, basically. So that
Nice.
it lands on top of headshot and it kind of smokes off all of this. And if they want to go up,
cool.
then... Yeah. And it's so deep, so I guess just
they
here, maybe?
really can't fight short from headshot.
No. I will show you how it bounces real quick. Well, like that, and then it like goes really high in the sky, it falls down on the ground, it bounces up and lands here, right?
Yeah,
Very consistent.
That's good.
Maybe even like... maybe there is even a lineup that lands a little bit deeper, because I would like it to be smoked a little bit deeper. This is better, because now if they want to go up headshot, they are full exposed, right? There's no one way to be had here. So yeah, I guess just in between these two and on that.
It's very easy.
Very easy, yeah. So this is kind of like a CS2 smoke. This just didn't make sense in CSGO to do, but it makes sense here. But what I want to show you is, in a round, like you had a round where there were not that many CTs alive, and you kind of had the feeling that they were not playing in this space and not sandbags. Like they were playing deep. They were playing kind of passive. And there was an orb heaven, if you remember, that you died to when you came up here.
Yeah.
I just want you to know this combo. You can go in front of this. You can aim here. You see it's like this square. And at the top.
Yep.
You slow walk forward and jump throw. Connector smoke. Which allows you to take deep, right? And if you stay in the same spot and you aim here on the shadow, and you have jump throw forward, bound, which I don't have right now, and you jump throw forward, this Molotov goes and it takes both up and down here. So the only thing that's left is headshot. Like you can take the deep space.
You could do the other smoke if you have teammates still.
Yeah, or if you have some HEs, just, I mean, chuck them up here, basically. Or, what you can also do, that I like to do, is just, you can even flash, like, in headshot. So that if he's standing anywhere here, he will be blind. Or if he's standing here, or if he's standing here, or whatever, like in front of the Molo, he will get blind, and you won't get blind by this flash. It's really difficult also for anyone coming out con, like, they will also be blind, right? So this is basically just a deep execute, and you can try to find timings where this makes sense to do. Like in a 3-on-3 where you know they're playing deep, this is really good. Doing this, whatever. Because exactly the way the flash lands. Impossible for the CT to dodge, but you don't need to dodge. And then, yeah, just you were holding this mid angle. I just wanted to show you that if you play against Force Buy, if it's good players and they do buy a lot of Tech 9s, kind of what we talked, you can sit on this angle as well. And you can hold this, but you can also hold a boost at the same time, kind of.
Ah, yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. With the rifle, it's not that good because they can overswing the angle, and they can probably overswing the angle a little bit with AWP as well.
Push, yeah.
Yes, but if you let one guy go, you can be ready for the next. Like if they go many, rush mid, whatever. And they can't blind you here, basically. It's really difficult, at least. So, if you see one guy cross, you can be fast ready for the second one. Or maybe you even have good enough timings, or maybe you just sit more like against a force, like you can sit and not be so worried of boost. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because they won't have like Tech 9 boosted who tries to kill you here. Either way, he can only shoot you in the leg, you know. But yeah, it's a hard angle to as a Tech 9 run down, and it's hard to flash this. So yeah, that's it.
That's very good to know. Yeah.
Yes.
Gonna try that out for sure.
Yes. So yeah, that was the notes I had. I think as another note, and I will try to write it to you as well if I remember it. Yeah, watch the Face Cheat Code CS:GO. I think the CS2 one is also worth watching, but it's also for like I would say a little bit maybe higher level, because there's some stuff is very important, some stuff is less important, I guess.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But, gotta take as much knowledge as I can.
Do it, bro. Wait, I didn't even know you could make this jump actually. If you crouch in the right time, you can actually.
Now
make
that
it.
you're trying, it's gonna be hard.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, I feel like you just have to
okay.
crouch really early, then it's not that hard.
Nice.
Huh? You know, learn something new every day.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, Andreas, that was what I had. So if you have something, questions, or any feedback for me, or anything like that, then the floor is yours.
Yeah. Just what I don't know if it's particularly interesting for CS, but I just remembered I thought I would tell you, but you know, I did before I was like taking CS seriously, I was doing sim racing,
Yeah.
like motorsport, and also in real life, but it's fucking expensive, so I'm not really doing it anymore, like
Yeah.
on race base.
Mm-hmm.
But like in sim racing, actually, I was playing like the complete opposite of CS, like really aggressive all the time,
Oh, really?
and yeah, completely insane. Like,
That's cool. I mean, playing super aggressive in CS isn't really something you can consistently do as well. I mean, for that to make sense, you need a system around it. The same way playing super
That's
passive all the time, it can be good if your name is James and you have a system around it, but you need that system in
yeah,
place. And
that's
people who are outliers, they typically need like a system more than players who are
yeah.
more than players who are more in the middle, right? And that's the thing, I guess. Well, yeah.
Yeah, but it was also fucking inconsistent. Like, you gotta make some people very angry at you if
Yes,
you just bomb them out.
that I can imagine. Yeah, that's funny. Good to know. And I think, I mean, as soon as you got your confidence, then you played really aggressive and hitting a lot of really
Yeah.
good shots and stuff like that. So, yeah, it was funny to see as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's true.
Um,
Yeah, I just gotta find a way to always play like, or more often play like very confident, I think.
yeah. I mean, but it also comes with playing good. I mean, if you understand the map of Vertigo better, you will get more kills and it will make you more confident. Those things always go hand in hand.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So, yeah, coaching sessions and watching videos about it and stuff like that will make you better, which will give you more confidence and you will play better.
It
Simple as that.
definitely helps. Yeah.
That's good. All right. Well, yeah. Do you have anything else?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Well, you know you can always reach me on Discord.
Yes, sir.
Not always necessarily. Sometimes there's like 3 to 4 business days delivery time.
Yeah.
But yeah, you get an answer one day.
One
Always.
day.
Yes. All right, man. Thank you so much.